Hey everybody, Keith and Sara with the Leaders Lyceum and this week's weekly thought fuel. So we hope that last week you had the opportunity to kind of catch yourself in some circumstances, maybe provoking the question, who do I want to be? What's the story I want to tell? That's where we left you last week. The reason we wanted you to go there is because that will accelerate progress on your vertical journey. That's what we talked about last week.
So before we kick off and go into more depth over the different levels of the vertical journey, which is what the next 4 weeks are going to be, there's just some things that are true overall about this journey that we want to tell you. The first is that it's measurable. This is actually something that we can measure and know where somebody is on this journey. It's progressive. So you go through each of the levels in order. You can't skip ahead to level 5 if you're still at level 2. But with that, you also don't go backwards. And so once you've reached a certain level, you may act in a certain way, but your lens of the way you see the world isn't going to revert to a previous level, so that's good to know.
That is good to know.
And then finally, it's good to know that where you are in that vertical journey is correlated to your age, because as we've talked about, growth happens by embracing challenges in life and leaning into those and growing, which means the longer we live life, the more we're going to face those challenges and grow.
Or have opportunities to.
Yeah, hopefully. But even though it's correlated to age, it is not determined by your age. So there are people who are on the older end of the spectrum who are still at a lower level of vertical development because they haven't embraced their challenges. And there can be people who are younger who've faced a lot and leaned into a lot of challenges and therefore are more developed than their age. So just some general things we want you to know about this journey as we get into it with more detail.
I think a couple of things to maybe take away in this upcoming week is super high level, and just pay attention to the people that you're seeing, that you're interacting with, that you're related to, that you work with, that you work for. Level 2, first level of adulthood. Super me first, overly concrete, my agenda, what do I get out of it? You've met people like this, their names coming to mind right now, I'm almost positive. Level 3, too outside in, too determined by your circumstances. The entire world is like a mirror that lets you know who you are, what you should do, how you should feel about yourself. The older a person is, when they're at that level, the less mature they seem. We don't want to be there. Where great effectiveness starts to happen is at level 4. Average age in the population, 44. We'll talk more about this later. But this is I know who I am. I know what I stand for. I know how to get the work done that I want to get done, and it is a much cooler place to be. For those people, rare people, who keep growing for the rest of their lives, with level 5 is actually a really sage, wise, integrated, open, able to reflect on their own perspective and integrate it with other perspectives. It's amazing. We'll talk about that in about 4 weeks. Hey, if you have not already gotten a copy of the book and you want to go more in depth, I just happen to have one right here.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, so the map, Your Path to Effectiveness in Leadership, Life, and Legacy, themapthebook.com, Barnes & Noble, iTunes for the e-reader version, if you want to kind of get ahead of the curve with what we're going to be talking about. So until we see you again next week, I don't have a good closing. So
check out the map. Bye.